Nice. Here come Larry. Yeah. Hey, Mike. Yeah, here it is.
Not much different than every year for 50 years. It's not about how the guys play or we played. It's about doing it, just playing, and being together is therapy for guys coming from all different directions, different offices on campus, sometimes some guys from downtown, and it's just a fellowship. It's probably more that than basketball, but generally, and this group today, every one of them are fairly capable basketball players, and that makes it fun to compete because it's human nature. 1-on-1, 5-on-5 doesn't matter. Both guys want to win. And if you don't feel like that, you probably shouldn't be playing. Because go play golf or something, you know. But it was fun to see the new guys in with our regulars. It's much the same, and that's what you like to see. We've never allowed anyone to feel like they're a great player. We don't need great players, and we don't need somebody thinking they're great players. That's the most important part. We just play together, accept each other's limitations, appreciate each other's skills, and it's therapy. There's no question about it. I was always moving, and I don't know if you're aware, but most of the guys had some kind of a reference. Like we had a guy that if he didn't make the basket, he called a foul, and he would say, "Hold it." Well, he became Hold It. That's what we called him, Hold It. Larry, we call him Big Lair, just because he's taller than the rest of us. And on and on. Jay Walmsley, he wanted to be called Stockton because he's small and he's quick and he's a good player. But he liked to be called Stockton, so we call him Stockton. And there are just a lot of guys that had nicknames out here.
So you were moving. Why were you moving?
Well, it has real meaning because we come out here to exercise, right? So if guys standing around, what are we doing? So I said, move it. Not only that, but in basketball, if you want to score, you better be moving. Get open. It hasn't been unusual, and I usually have the ball. I'm kind of the point guard, and I'm waiting for somebody to cut through, and nobody cuts. Everybody's standing at the three-point line, and I say, "Somebody call timeout or what?" And I say, "Move it." Well, I started coaching in 2003. I decided I had retired. I thought, I'm going to try this. Always thought I was a coach and found out real quick that I wasn't, but I learned. And since I started doing that, and this is 18 years ago, I'm still doing it, they started calling me coach. Not because I was coaching them, but partly because I would give them suggestions. and most of them wouldn't pay any attention to me anyhow, but it was mostly in fun. Sometimes I did it because they messed up my team, and like Ryan Merrill out here, the Husky guy in the blue shirt. I don't know if you know him, but he thinks he has to dribble all the time, and I get on his case all the time. You can't dribble, and when you do dribble, and nothing good happens. So it's things like that. But we know each other so well that we know we're not mean-spirited, okay? If he wants to dribble, he can dribble all he wants. And I'll keep telling him not to dribble. It's that kind of thing. I never never had a basketball, never touched a basketball till I was in the 8th grade. And that only because they closed the one-room school that I went to and bused us up to this school. Well, for whatever reason, I went out for basketball in the 8th grade. I wish I could remember, because I don't even know how I knew it existed. But that was my start. And then in the 9th grade, I was on the team, and I have no idea what kind of a player I was. But I couldn't have been much because I didn't know the game. In the 8th grade, when we were practicing, the first time I remember this well, the kid, I guess the other team had scored, and the kid threw the ball into me, and we were going that way. I turned around and put it in that basket. I didn't know. I just know put it in a basket. So I started from below the ground.
The fact that Ken kind of fell in love with my family before he fell in love with me, because we were a sports family. My father played basketball. There was a basketball hoop in the back of our yard, and he played with brothers and my family. And after we got married, we were still as students at BYU, and my brother Daryl was a student down there as well. And it was just a few weeks after we were married, I hear this knock on our door on Saturday morning, and there's my brother Daryl in his basketball shorts and holding a basketball, and he says, "Can Ken come out and play?" And he's been playing basketball throughout our married life ever since. I'm really grateful that Ken has had this experience with these NBA young men, and and at various ages and stages, because it has helped him to keep really healthy. It's good physically, but as he said, emotionally and socially, it has been a great experience for him. And I love being involved. I remember this field house, and many years ago, I was into more jogging. I never played basketball or those things, but I really believe in physical exercise and that our bodies need this every day. But I would jog up here in the wintertime around the court, and there were times when even Ken was out of town, and I would holler as I went past to move it to these guys while they were playing during their noon meals. But I just always have really appreciated not only the physical, but the social and especially the emotional therapy, the release that this has brought to our life, and certainly has been an important part of Ken's life.
Memories?
Yeah.
Lane, you know Lane well now. Lane and I guarded each other, and Lane is a little, I don't need to be delicate. He just doesn't know how to play defense. He's all over you. And I threatened to bring a saddle and put it on and let him get, because he's just all over me. He means well, he just doesn't know. Anyway, I was a decent three-point shooter, and he would be out there in my face. And if he was a second late, I would shoot it. And there were times, I'm telling you, I didn't see the rim. But your brain, after you've done it, it knows the distance, you know the form, and it went in. And Lane, geez, he's right there. And that's why I couldn't see the rim. And I say, Lane, were you there? Are you playing defense today? And I think I mentioned to you about Larry Rupp and shooting over him. Those are good memories for me, because it's hard, to shoot over Larry. But as I said, it's kind of the same thing. Drive Larry down, hook it up. He's a foot taller than me. Hook it up. I can't see the rim. I just know where it is. Bank it in, and Larry goes, I say, Larry, I'd go up to him, what's your name, boy? I don't think I met you. And then I'd go do it from the left side. I say, you gonna tell me your name yet? And just things like that. I don't know why those are good memories, but they are, because they're fun.
Hey, good luck
They have accommodations. You can go in chairs. I didn't know it's out there. I was surprised.
Dr. Melville the other day was asking me, how are you doing it? I said, there's nobody that comes and rescue you. He was laughing.
I don't know if I know you.
She left Mom and just took me to
And I saw the program and it says remarks by Larry Rupp, and I thought, well, what on earth am I going to say other than I've really enjoyed it. It's been a great chance to meet people from all walks of life, all parts of the university that I would probably have never been able to have the chance to associate with. So it's been a great blessing in my life. But I thought, what would Ken say? And I thought, two things. One would be move it, and the second would be pass the food.
oh yes, I forgot that.
Clayton Mitchell's boy, Kenneth. And he turned around and yelled at the house, "Hey, old lady, come out here!"
His wife.
Is enjoying himself.
Brace yourself, Coach. It's a long day.
Everyone's life has got some good and some bad and some ugly. And for this presentation, we're going to try to have a nice little yeasty mix, right, of all these things, looking at Ken's life and times. There will be some facts mixed in, and there will be some fiction, but hopefully it'll all be fun. So next slide, please. You would think that Bizzle Bluff, that we made that up.
I'd like a little respect for my background.
We got that chair from Ken's sister, who had already raised a couple boys, and that was his chair, and it's in my living room today with those Care Bears in it. But all of our children grew up using that chair, and so when they started having children, we had a replica made for them, so all of my grandchildren have grown up using that chair in our home or in their own home, and that's a special treasure in our family.
Becky, so did Ken know you were pregnant when the
So Ken, you're probably wondering how we got this picture.
Yeah,
So we have a story here that we have what appears to be a diaper on baby Jason. Ken, do you want to defend yourself on this?
No, let me tell it. This jockstrap. It is the only sewing project Ken has ever done in his life. He actually cut down one of his and sewed this one and put the name on it with one of my marking pens. That's the truth.
Hey, it fit.
Next slide, please. Now this is an interesting one, the same kind of group. Now, apparently, Ken, you're doing a shuffle dance there to celebrate.
Shuffle's all he's got anymore.
You don't know my oldest daughter. Maybe you do. It was a brief encounter. Well, I invited her. She made the basketball team out at Mountain Crest, and this is some years ago. And I invited her to come out up and play with the NBA on one of her, vacation day, some day that she was off. And she showed up, and she had to guard Coach. And
That was a real compliment to put her on me.
of course, she scored 20 points or so, but afterwards, it was a real traumatic experience for me. She came and she said, "Dad, does he ever wash that jersey?" He always had a little tenuous relationship with the rec department at USC. Particularly after Coach sort of retired and then new people came in. And it was always, he always assumed that he would be recognized from those 1972 broadcasts. He was sort of, he thought maybe he held a little bit more, well, to be frank, prestige than he really did.
The ball is stuck with Ken. It's the worst place in the world to have the ball stuck.
But they don't move. And I wonder, does somebody call timeout?
So we did a survey once. This is another part of our culture. Did a survey once. Who's the best shooter? Who's the best defender? Who's the best rebounder? Who's the best this? Who's the best that? Well, I know for a fact that Ken believes he was the best passer.
Only.
Probably everything else.
Only passer.
And he was awful. Those of you that have played with him, if you ever get a breakaway or a longer pass, Ken has his bowling ball pass. How many of you have seen that? Even you new guys have seen that. Okay. It is awful. Absolutely awful.
I don't remember what year it was, but the Aggies were in an intense game, and there was a guy behind where the Aggies were shooting free throws, and he got down right on the floor, and he's throwing a jacket up when we were trying to shoot free throws. And nobody at the arena was doing anything about it, so Mr. in charge decides he needs to do something about it, right?
That's because the security at the convention center's average age was 83.
Right. Yeah, they were not used to this kind of intensity in Anaheim. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and as I recall, we were kind of directly opposite that basket. We were down pretty low, and Dad says to me, "Stay here. I'll be right back." And I'm just watching the game
He's
into it.
12 years old.
Yeah, and this was just not long after the antler incident, so I'm not sure what to believe. But he says, "I'll be right back," and I'm looking directly down the court, and all of a sudden the next free throw comes up. And boom, this guy goes flying. and it was Mr. in charge trying to earn Smash's name, I guess, because he just took the guy out. And I felt, I guess, that would address it. And so he comes back, so that, I guess, got the ushers engaged, and they took that away. But what happens when he comes back, and we didn't stay seated, he said, come with me. And we went and sat with Phil Olson, and stayed with Phil Olson until we were out of the arena, because Dad was a little concerned about the Fullerton frat boys finding us on the way out. So that was taking charge in
But he
Anaheim.
had one thing to that story.
Dave's known me since I was in the 10th grade. He was the coach at Malad when I was a 10th grader, and I've known him. We stayed friends. I played some ball against his high school and high school. Anyway, he comes up to me after and puts his arm around me and says, "Steve, we don't play defense." It's called ROB, Recreation Offensive Basketball. And I looked at the heavens and said, finally. I don't.
And so I throw it to Ken. My favorite shot was going from right to left, come around, get the ball, stop, shoot. Ken would never give me the ball. I'd pass it in, I'd break this way, he would fake, then he would turn, and then I don't know what he did with the ball. I never saw it. I said, "Ken, if you're going to make a fake and you want people to take it, you got to give it to me once in a while." And he never did. I had to lean down to turn around or something. But anyway, he reminds me a lot of, if you're watching the Aggies, first down, where's it going? Noah up the middle. Yeah. Ken Mitchell gets the ball. Where's he going? Move it. Turn around and try to find something to go to. Sign of a good coach, know your players and know their skills. Sorry, Coach.
What I would say here is that there's lots of great friends, lots of great experiences, lots of compassion and caring and coaching, and I'm going to remember them all. But last but least, there's one person that I'm never, ever going to forget. One whom I'll always have a special place in my heart, and that's our water boy here, Keith Meekham.
I second that. Hello? Are you gonna help me or not?
How bad is it?
Well, I'll tell you, it's worse than a Larry Rupp hook shot. It's worse than a Jay Walmsley layup. It's worse than having to hear the guys from Idaho sing the state song after they finally win a game.
We won all the time.
We heard that song a lot.
And I'd like these guys to come up and sing that song one more time. Come on, Ed. You Idaho birds.
Come on, Idaho boys. Let's show them how it's done.
We'll go singing, singing of you, singing of Idaho.
everybody to stand, if you would, please. Did you hear me? Some years ago, somebody gave me this, and I think it was Morocco and I don't know who else, when I retired from the university. Well, I thought it was only fitting in hanging it up. Let's hear it for hanging it up. Hanging it up. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Lady's not singing. Happy birthday to you. That's a lot better than the Idaho state song.
Jason, do you stand all these generations and you're still an active player?
Let's see, Jay, write the score on that ball, would you?
Okay, everyone, you have to say move it on 3.
Move it.
1, 2, 3.